All right, I'd like to call to order this meeting of Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners. We note that all commissioners are present with the exception of Commissioner Napper, who is excused. We did have an executive session where we talked about matters of personnel and real estate. We'll have a pledge of allegiance followed by a moment of silence, and tonight the pledge could be read by or recited by Commissioner Rubarczyk. I'd appreciate that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. We begin with petitions, complaints, suggestions from citizens. Does anybody wish to address the board tonight? Yes, sir. Please come forward to the microphone, state your name and address, and please try to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. It's an honor to be here. My name is Gary Lysid. I live up on North Front Street, right next to Fort Hunter Park.
By the drain?
Sorry?
By the drain?
By the train, yes. The caboose is mine. I always love cabooses, but you'll get me on a tangent and I'll take up 3 minutes. And I'm only here because of the traffic, of the excessive speed issue up on North Front Street in the park area. I've talked to Susquehanna Township Chief Martin. I emailed him. And I'd just like to bring to your attention one simple fact. There's been 2 deaths up there over the years, as you probably know about. And mostly it's just people crossing the park. There are crosswalks there. I looked tonight again. Even the speed limit there is 35 miles an hour. That's a fine speed. I've driven myself, and when I first started paying attention to it, I drove at 35 miles an hour, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize. I've never driven this slow in my whole life on North Front Street, so I was as much of a sinner as anybody else. But I felt when I was driving at 35 miles an hour, which we all should drive in that area, given the park, I could brake, I could avoid running over a dog, I could avoid killing somebody, I could avoid an accident. 35 miles an hour is probably a fine speed. What I'm asking you to pay attention to as my representatives, and I thank you for your unpaid or very low paid service, you're doing a good job. I love the township since I moved there. And I have the only house on the river, and here I go, I digress again, but every morning I wake up, I see the ducks, I see the fish, I just love it where I live, and I feel so lucky to have the park there. I've talked to Anthea and the commissioners about this problem. We talked to Patty Kim about the problem, but I think the simple starting solution for us could be is if we just had speed limit signs. You come north on Front Street, you pass the Glass Lounge. There's one sign right there that says 35 miles an hour. You proceed north up towards the park. There is no sign until you get into the park. And on the right, there is an old 35 mile an hour sign after you've gone through 2 crosswalks that are on the road. If we could just put more signs in the north way, just maybe 2 or 3 35 mile an hour signs, above the Rockville Bridge, like going towards the park on your right, so people would be noticed, and we could put 2 or 3 signs there where INA is, or if you're familiar with Roberts Valley Road, that area, or right up there where Margie lives, right next to the park, right across from my caboose. If we could just put some signs up there so there is notice to the people, and it's imprinting in their head. It's a simple start, and maybe we could do something with it. I'm not asking for more enforcement, speed bumps. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying, I know we have businesses, INA, myself, It's Heating. We would pay for the signs if there's a money issue. I know it's not a money issue, but I'm just trying to say the residents, we're willing to help rather than just complain. And I think that'd be a simple start. Our neighbor, Middle Paxton Township, since the fatality of the county employee, and if any of you knew him, he was a wonderful gentleman. He picked up the trash every Sunday morning. I walked my dog through the park, and he's just a joyously loved life. And he got killed right there because he was working, and somebody ran over him. And That's the second fatality we've had from Rockville Bridge down to there. We've had a death, and it's just a small section of town. It's a simple area. People use the park. The highway bisects the park, so the carriages, the dogs, everybody wants to go from one side to the other. It's just something that we could probably help with by just doing some more signage there. I mean, standard signs, not like lit up signs, not expensive signs. I mean, everything's expensive in the United States today, thanks to my generation that spent too much on other stuff. Thank you for your time.
No, point well taken. And I believe that's a state road, is it not, officer? But that doesn't absolve us from responsibility. So if you could bring this up with the chief and let him know. And
100%.
we do traffic studies in our second meeting of the month. So we'd be happy to have that incorporated in a conversation with the chief.
And in response to that briefly, Jeff Smith, Township Supervisor, you probably all know Jeff. He speaks loud and he tells you what he's thinking, and he's a handful. But he met with your township manager, he met with them, and Middle Paxton Township, within 2 weeks after that fatality, had more signs of 35 miles an hour put up there without traffic studies because they found that the township is responsible for the signage in that area. So up above Hecton Hall, there are new signs without traffic studies, without referrals and whatever. All we need is signs.
I was also a former state trooper who was chairman of that board, so maybe that helped. I don't know.
I'm just,
Hey,
thank you for your time. Thank you for your service, y'all.
and thank you, Gary. Anybody else wish to address the board? Okay. Hearing none. Oops. Yep.
Hello everyone, this is Lakshmi Dalal, and I am the resident of the Susquehanna Township. However, I am doing my business here in Susquehanna Township. My clinic we recently opened here in Susquehanna Township, officially announced, and Commissioner Fred Fallona was there to help announce the opening of our clinic. It's called Prime Healthcare Clinic. It's in the Union Square right here in the Lingelstown Road. So I am here not to complain, but to compliment the Susquehanna Townships, and then we get such a help from the township here, and we are also open for general public for the Susquehanna Township. And I would like to obviously welcome everyone from the Susquehanna Township and get the healthcare services from Prime Healthcare Services.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else care to address the board? All right. Hearing none. Moving on to approval of minutes from our March 27th, 2025 Board of Commissioner workshop.
Mr. President, I will move for approval of our workshop meeting minutes of March 27th.
All right. Seconded by Commissioner Fallona. Comments or questions? All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, recognitions and presentations, CRW. Separately? You want to make an introduction?
Is here to talk about a project that Capital Region Water is planning, and is here to talk about a project and ask for our support. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Epperly. Good evening, Commissioners. How's everyone doing?
Good.
I am before you tonight, as Ms. Epperly stated, we were contacted by a property owner within the township, Mr. Anthony Botek, regarding 804 South Progress Avenue and 1001 South Progress Avenue as it relates to failing wells, private water wells. So he was inquiring about the possibility of CRW extending a water line on out South Progress Avenue. So what we started doing is actually looking at funding sources and came across the DCED Small Water and Sewer Grant, which is administered to the Commonwealth Financing Authority. And part of that requirement is to receive a letter of support as well as acknowledgement that it adheres to the township's comprehensive plan. So that is what I am here in front of you all tonight to ask for that letter of support and that adherence to the comp plan.
Okay, so you're on the south end of Progress Avenue.
Correct.
We just did a very extensive mini basic project there. Finished about a year and a half ago. And trying to recall whether or not water service was supplied as part of that. And I think that was mainly on the east side. of
Correct.
Progress
There's no water line in this area right now. It's actually right there on Park Road. We have a line that goes back Park Road and goes down Hilltop Drive. So this would be continuing on down Progress Avenue towards Oakcrest.
Okay, would that enhance the possibility, just spitballing here, but would that enhance the possibility of cutting across Progress Avenue to serve some of those neighborhoods? And the reason I ask is we had to do the sewer project because it was contaminating wells. Is that right, Travis? It was a real issue for years. And,
DEP required it.
right.
Yeah, for this project here, we'd be looking at extending 1,100 linear feet because this grant is actually capped at $500,000.
Yeah. So that won't get you to the east side of
That would
Progress
not get
Avenue.
us to the east side, no, sir.
Well, does it set the stage though for?
This could potentially set the stage, yes. So, but this is step one. Again, we were, like I said, notified by Mr. Botek of the issue that's going on out there. So as we were doing research, we came across this grant opportunity that just aligns. The grant application is actually due April 30th. And as I mentioned, part of that is receiving that letter of support and acknowledgement of the comp plan. So that's critical from the home township. That needs to go with the application.
Okay. Now we'd love to partner with you wherever we can put in water. Right around the corner, could use some. Is that Bell Nance, George?
Yeah.
Bell Nance Farm?
Raw water department, yes.
Water. It all comes from above. Okay. Any questions or comments from commissioners?
Do we need to vote on that?
I think Teresa would like an affirmation from the board so that that could be part of your quiver of arrows.
Well, then I would move that we provide the letter.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
All right. Greatly appreciate it, commissioners. Thank you for the time this evening.
Okay. Let us know when you're going to do the other side, okay? All right. It sounds like a great project. Appreciate it. Okay, public hearings. It's on intermunicipal liquor license transfer. Mr. Miller, will take it over?
Yes, Mr. President, this is the time and place that has been advertised and noticed for public hearing on an intermunicipal liquor license transfer application from the, I believe, Bollywood Indian Fusion Restaurant in Berry Township to 2015-2017 Lingelstown Road, Susquehanna Township. That is, I believe, the Cook Curry Restaurant, Bar and Grill. This hearing has been properly advertised, and a copy of the resolution and the advertisement has been made part of the agenda and will be provided to Ms. Miller, who is transcribing this hearing. Is there a representative of the applicant? Sir, if you'd step forward and say your name and be recognized and provide whatever information you wish to provide for the record.
Certainly. Hello, I'm Attorney McCormack from the Busby and Davis law offices, and I'm here representing the applicant. I am certainly happy to provide any further information other than what's on the application. It's already been
Why
stated.
don't you go through the application very quickly, please?
Certainly, yes. As it was said, this is an application to transfer a restaurant liquor license from Berry Township into Susquehanna Township. The address being 20, sorry.
It's 2015 to 2017.
That's right, exactly. This is going to be a person-to-person, place-to-place transfer. The underlying use will be for a tavern use, so our plan is to come back for you in the future to be permitted for that specific use, but this is one step closer to that for us. we need to have this application, or this resolution by the Board of Commissioners so that we can complete the transfer from the PLCP.
And again, the business structure of the proposed recipient?
Yes, the business structure is a limited liability company. It's owned by these three gentlemen here. The managing member is Mr. Gaurav. He's also here, and he's available to answer any questions or tell you about the project if you'd like. And
The name of the company?
the name,
The limited liability company?
oh, sorry, yes, it's Kukuri Restaurant Bar and Grill LLC.
Okay. And what percentage of the sales are anticipated to be alcohol sales?
I don't have that information this evening, I'm sorry.
Okay. And have they ever had a liquor license previously?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Okay. All right. Hold on for a second, Mr. McCormick. Lieutenant Verbos, could you come up to the microphone, please?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Verbos, for the record, has the police department had any particular concerns about either security, safety, or law enforcement issues with that particular location previously?
Public Safety Director expressed no concerns.
Okay. Does he have any concerns about the transfer of the liquor license to this location?
Again, the Public Safety Director expressed no concerns.
Any kind of traffic issues or residential issues nearby?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Lieutenant Verbos. Are there any members of the public other than the owners who wish to be heard and testify this evening on this issue? Going once, going twice, going three times. Members of the board, do you have any commissioners, do you have any questions for Mr. McCormick or the applicant?
What is in that office space right now?
That is currently a
Store
restaurant.
space. Okay, what's the restaurant?
I don't know the name of the restaurant that's currently in the place. It does not have a liquor license, however.
It's the same thing. Is it right next to the Dollar General? I'm trying to visualize it.
Yeah, I'm not sure by, it is? Yes. Yes, it is, right next to the Dollar General.
On the east side, south side. So it's going where Mr. Deli is?
Yes, Mr. Dillon, it's the new,
Okay.
yes.
Don't throw from here.
Yeah. And there's two addresses, so is that two different parcels?
I believe it is, or at least it's two different assigned numbers, yes.
Any other questions, commissioners?
Okay, Mr. President, are there any other questions or any other pieces of information that the board wishes to place into the record at this point? Hearing none, I've heard from, there's nothing from the administration about any concerns about either traffic, location, or impact on the community. We've heard from the Public Safety Director through Lieutenant Verbos as to that issue. The application is in order, and we have heard nothing from the public, and Mr. McCormick has provided us both with the application and with the testimony from the owner. Since there is nothing else to put on the record, I will recommend that we close the hearing at this time.
Hearing is closed.
Mr. President, I note that there is action in sub K of the agenda to approve the resolution transferring the liquor license from Bollywood Restaurant to Kukuri. If the board wishes, it could take action on Section K, the approval of the resolution approving the intermunicipal liquor license transfer.
All right, let's move it up above the reports of committees. And is there a motion on the floor to be offered to accept the approval of the licenses?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, Sanderson and Paloma. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, moving on to reports of committees. Buildings and Grounds, Commissioner Rothrock.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Budget and Finance, Commissioner Sanders.
Thank you, but we don't actually have any report, just nothing to report yet. Thank you.
Calvin?
It's coming.
Again. Public Works, Commissioner Snapper is not here. Do you have anything, Commissioner Israel?
Yes, I do. For the Public Works Committee is planning to schedule a meeting in April to review the capital improvement program. And as part of that, I think they want to review the roadway pavement management plan, which is a 5-year plan that was previously developed by HRG Inc. to see, in terms of making decisions going forward with the capital improvement program. The Public Works Department has also repaired the plow damage from this past winter and removed the salt spreaders from the township vehicles. And they finished cleaning, staff has finished cleaning ditch lines and repaired inlets. And as a final note, street sweeping continues throughout the township. This is my report, Mr.
All
President.
right, well done, thank you. It's almost like it was ghost written for you.
Yeah.
Let's see, Health and Sanitation, Commissioner Barcheck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just that the next yard waste pickup by Penn Waste will be Saturday, April 19th. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Admin and Personnel, do you have anything?
No report.
Everly? Commissioner Engel?
No report.
Police, Commissioner Engel.
No report.
Fire and EMS, Commissioner Hisrow.
No report.
Planning and Zoning, Commissioner Rothrock.
Thank you, Mr. President. There was a Planning Commission meeting on the 24th of March. There was one item on the agenda, and it was 2300 Chatham Way in the second ward. It was a waiver request to allow connection of a sump pump to the storm sewer system. And the site is located in the R2 residential zone. The waiver was recommended for approval subject to an O&M agreement with the township. There also was a zoning hearing board meeting on the 2nd of April. There were 4 items on the agenda. First one was 3201 Antonella Drive, which is in the 9th ward. They were asking for a variance to install a fence higher than 4 feet in a secondary front yard. This was located in our R2 zone. That variance was approved subject to the fence being 4 feet high on the side parallel to the front of the house. Apparently there was more than one street involved. The next item was Chick-fil-A at Dodson Court, which is in the 7th ward. They were requesting variances on wall signage for more numerous signs and larger freestanding sign than permitted, located in a commercial highway zone, and those variance requests were all approved. The third was Commerce Drive L46, which is in the, I guess that's lot 46, was in the 4th ward. They were asking for a variance to develop multifamily housing dwellings with 24 units in a building, which exceeded the 18 unit per building maximum. That variance was denied. This was involving the Creekview Heights development. And the last item was 2100 Hurst Street, and I think they were getting tired, so they continued that to the next meeting. So that concludes my report.
Well done, thank you. School Board, Commissioner Palone.
Mr. President, the school board has resumed the EIT tax increase for the year, which will be on the November ballot. In fact, today at 6:30 p.m. Is the first public hearing for this. The next one will be on the 13th of May at 6:30 p.m. also at the high school location. I just want to thank high school, and that ends my report.
Sure. Thank you. Authority, Commissioner Sanderson.
Yes, very briefly, thank you, Mr. President. Staff is collaborating with the collection agency to update current collections. The intent is to catch up by the time shutoffs occur in April per PUC guidelines. The 2024 paving and storm sewer improvement project, to a large degree, is complete, and the remaining punch list of items will be addressed prior to the end of May this year. the 2025 paving project. Final measurements are being collected and utility quantities are being calculated, and project documents are being prepared. The project was advertised for public bidding this month, and the bid opening is scheduled for April 15th. This ends my report, Mr. President.
Well done. Thank you. Shade Tree, Commissioner Cross.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Our next meeting of the Shade Tree Commission will be April 17th at 4 p.m. And then on April 25th will be our Arbor Day celebration. It'll be held at Covenant Christian School on Locust Lane. But it'll be in the morning around 8 a.m. So all are welcome to attend. That ends my report.
Thank you. Human Relations, Communications, Commissioner Marchek. I know we have a newsletter in the works.
Yeah, when is that? Maybe we should have a communications committee meeting sometime.
I know the draft is in internal circulation is a great addition. It's the cover has the K9 team on the front cover. It's a great newsletter. So I'm not exactly sure when the deadline is.
It sounds like it's going to the.
2 weeks?
Oh, dad jokes.
End of the month is when it goes out.
Okay, yeah, in all seriousness, maybe we should set a meeting at some point.
I would like that, okay.
All right. Human Relations, Commissioner Cross. Anything?
No comments.
Okay. Parks and Rec, Commissioner Paloma.
The Six Park Master Plan Steering Committee met on the 25th of March. And the next RAC meeting will be next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Here at the Township Building. That's my report.
All right, thank you. We already handled the liquor license transfer. We have no appointments. Staff reports. Manager Everly, do you have anything?
I do, President Lynch. I just have a couple things. First of all, we're completing our 2019-2023 pension audit. We've had 2 employees start since our last meeting, Public Works Director Todd Webb and our sewer operator Clint Krieger, who's our new manager. Our code officials have been working hard on a variety of projects. One of the ones they're working on is the Games of Skill, so we'll have more information to you on that. But they do plan to host a information meeting in May for those folks who do have Games of Skill product in their businesses. We started to roll out the community-wide survey as part of our strategic management project. I attended the Candy Scramble that we had this previous week and actually had 2,000 individuals and families who stopped to take the survey. So I was very excited about that. We are creating, thanks to Mary Kate and our Stormwater Department, a postcard with a QR code, and we're going to place them strategically around the township. So the purpose of the STEM survey is to get information about areas of opportunities and improvements in the township. And it's just a great tool for us to get information from our residents about how we're doing. So you'll be seeing the little postcards around. I encourage you to, take them, pass them around to your neighbors, your friends, so we can get some great input that will help us as part of the strategic management plan project. We are working on our trash bid. Our committee is going to be getting together shortly. As I mentioned previously, it's been 10 years since our last contract, so there's going to be a lot of changes. And if you're interested in learning about what's happening with trash, Penn Waste is attending our meeting our next meeting to talk to us about what's happening in the industry and how that may impact us and our residents. So it would be a good one for our residents to attend if they can make a meeting or to Zoom in. We are privileged to host the mobile hours for Senator Kim. You might have seen this out there. So she will be, the mobile office will be here every 3rd Monday, starting the 21st, right here in our lobby. So we're hoping to generate a lot of stop-by visitors. Lastly, our office will be closed April 18th. Oh, I do have one more thing, forgot. We recently received information from Senator Kim's office, and if I could just take 2 seconds to read it. As part of the Local Government Week, Senator Kim wishes to recognize municipalities throughout the 15th District that are leading the way in delivering outstanding services to residents. We are pleased to inform you that your township has been selected to receive one of these awards. The Local Government Week recognition highlights Susquehanna Township's commitment to innovation in local governance. Your municipality has demonstrated exemplary foresight through your proactive approaches in stormwater management and a commitment to smart development for a growing township. So just, congratulations. We're very excited. You don't often get, like we were talking today, an award for stormwater. So that's very exciting. So Senator Kim will be here sometime on the 16th to provide us with that recognition, and everybody is invited to attend. As soon as I have the time, I'll circulate that. But congratulations to our stormwater team, Kathleen and Mary Kate, as well as to Mac, who has done an exceptional job with development.
It's great news. Congratulations, Kathleen.
Thank you. Great job.
That ends my report.
Hey, can I ask with, when she's here on the third Monday, what's the time range again when they set up?
10 to 12.
That's 10 o'clock. We're 11:50. Community economic development, anything along those lines, Teresa?
Nothing, sir.
Okay. Public Works, we got anything?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, Travis. Engineering,
Board has my report.
all right. Law Bureau,
Board has heard enough from me tonight.
yes, we have. Thank you. Parks and Rec?
Nope, no report.
No report.
Mr. President,
Yes.
if I may, I have just one item additional for Parks and Rec. The Master Plan Committee has been meeting, as Commissioner Failona indicated, but I'm just trying to get the word out early, on May 10th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're having an open house at the Township Building. And it's for the public to come and give feedback on some of the parks that the master plan will be exploring. The parks include, or potential sites, some of them are not parks yet, Latchmere property, Shut Mill Park, Stabler Park, Margaret's Grove, Plum Alley Park, and Apple Creek Park. So if anyone's interested, it's open to the public, May 10th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
New business. Consent agenda. There's only one item on consent agenda. That is approved statement of bills paid for April 4th, 2025. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Engel, second by Commissioner Sanderson. Comments, questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next up, excess maintenance agreement from R&J Logging to utilize Roberts Valley Road, Susquehanna Township as a hauling route for a small timbering operation in current Paxton Township. Want to take it, Alex?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. R&J Logging of Bethel, Pennsylvania is requesting to utilize Roberts Valley Road in Susquehanna Township as a hauling route for a small timbering operation to occur in Middle Paxton Township. Roberts Valley Road is a township road that is currently weight restricted at a limit of 10 tons for the entire length located within the township. The proposed hauling route would extend from Front Street to the eastern municipal boundary with Middle Paxton Township, totaling approximately 1 mile. The operation is expected to involve the export of approximately 28 trailer loads of timber at a rate of 2 to 4 loads per day, with a total duration of approximately 3 weeks. The applicant contacted the township regarding the request and was advised by the Public Works Director, Nate Bragonier, that bonding of the road would be required due to the existing weight restriction should the use of Roberts Valley Road be approved. The applicant provided a signed excess maintenance agreement, proposing continuous maintenance and/or repair of damage to Roberts Valley Road caused by the proposed hauling activities through the duration of the logging operation. Road maintenance and/or repairs deemed necessary by the township would be completed by the applicant's contractor, Hackman Paving of Newmanstown, Pennsylvania, at the applicant's expense and at no cost to the township per the maintenance plan provided by the applicant. The applicant would be responsible for paying all fees rendered by the township, including but not limited to administrative costs, engineering fees, and legal fees per paragraph 8 of the excess maintenance agreement. The applicant has also submitted a certificate of insurance listing, or as required by the agreement. The applicant has also submitted, anyway, should the commissioners vote to approve the applicant's request, such approval should be made conditional upon the following: full execution of the excess maintenance agreement to include bonding of the road, receipt of financial security in the amount of $12,500 per mile of use. Just as an aside, the township in its discretion may require additional financial security be provided by the applicant should the aggregate cost of the damage exceed 75% of the face value of the initial $12,500 security provided. Approval of the applicant's maintenance plan, performance of an initial inspection of the road by the township and the applicant prior to commencement of hauling, reimbursement of all fees, and other conditions required after or upon solicitor review. And I believe representative of the applicant, Mr. Shannon Henry, who is here, he can certainly answer much more in regard to the operation itself, the intended use of Roberts Valley Road. But I believe a map has been provided to you showing proposed route. So if you have any questions, I'm sure Mr. Henry would be delighted to respond.
Well, to get this in circulation, is there a motion that includes the conditions that were outlined by Alex? Moved by Commissioner Sanderson. Second. Seconded by Commissioner Cooper. Questions?
The financial security provided is $12,500 per mile. How long is this stretch of road?
The section proposed is just, I think it's about 0.98 miles.
So it's 1 mile, so we're talking $12,500. The weight limit on the road, do you know why that weight limit was established?
I don't know why this particular restriction was established, but usually it's due to the construction of the road. So whether some of the older roads were simply, maybe gravel roads, dirt roads that were minimally paved or improved to, facilitate traffic to and from the
I've
parcels.
been on that road and it's pretty narrow and
It's about 20 feet wide.
not very substantial from what I remember.
It's about 20 feet wide. Condition of the road, it goes from fair to poor as you go from west to east. So it's the condition, which it was probably how the road was improved, closer to Front Street was probably improved more recently and it's better standards than as further east you get to Middle Paxton, the condition goes down a little bit. And it's mostly, not mostly, but a lot of edge breaking of the road. So.
And what is the weight of these trucks when they're fully loaded?
I'll defer that to Mr. Henry if you want to.
The maximum they can have on them is, or total maximum weight would be 80,000 pounds. It varies from that on down. As you load logs into a truck, there's a lot of airspace and stuff.
That's 40 tons.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So it's 4 times the limit that's been established based on the condition of the road.
Yeah, if they're able to get a full load. It's probably, I mean, I don't have an exact number, but I would guess it's probably somewhere more like 65 to 88. But it's hard to get that much weight into a truck with all the airspace with the logs.
So it might be only 30 tons.
Yeah, it's really variable. Depends what he's hauling and, yeah.
Okay, that's all my questions.
So the timber's going to be harvested in the red square on top of this drawing?
Correct,
Is that
yes. correct?
correct?
That's, those are 2 parcels in Middle Paxton Township owned by 2 different owners.
And then obviously travel down Roberts Valley Road and on
Then
Front Street.
they intend to go south to Linglestown. He told me he's thinking he would come south to Linglestown Road to get to the highway. Their intent is to get to the highway, as quickly as possible. And with what I've heard here, I will definitely point out to them their speed concern up there, remind them of that. That's evidently an issue, so I'll make sure they're aware of that. But
I would think.
yeah, as far as I believe, he figures coming down Front Street to Linglestown Road, 22 is probably the shortest route to the highway.
As we heard tonight with Mr. Lysak about the speeding, I also received many complaints about trucks driving in this area. The residents have actually started a petition on Front Street because of the amount of trucks, large trucks driving there. I get complaints from Roberts Valley Road as well. So I'm sorry, but I can't support this in good faith.
That's the only way the landowners should come out.
I understand, but I'm here to represent my residents, not the landowners, so I appreciate that, yeah.
How long would the project take?
I mean, it's a little bit of weather dependency, because they won't operate when the weather's, when it's raining a lot, things like that. It's not good to operate in the woods, but with good weather, he told me probably 2 weeks of operations. He put in there 3 to kind of hedge the bet. Like if we have an inch of rain like we've had, they wouldn't be up there working for a day or 2 until things dry out a bit.
So is this a one-time thing or continuous?
One time, yeah. The 2 properties, total, it adds up to maybe about 18 acres that they're going to be harvesting on. And the impetus for it was basically, they have a lot of dying trees up there, and they're starting to fall down the house. The one owner has lost a garage, it's been completely flattened by a tree. And this is a more cost-effective way to hire an arborist, $2,000-3,000 a tree to remove these trees. This gentleman has equipment that will let him, it's a feller buncher basically. It'll come in, like it'll grab the tree, cut it, and then he can control it and lay it down, get it away from the buildings. So that's what made them decide to go this route, as opposed to, it could be tens of thousands of dollars the other way. But that's their concern. They've had property damage from things falling on their house. There's quite a bit of this way in that bad shape. They're probably 5 years too late, honestly. They should have probably done this a lot sooner.
You're saying they should have done this about 5 years ago?
Probably from the tree up. So I'm a consulting forester. I don't work for R&J. I work for those people up on the hill. They're my clients. But yes, from a forestry standpoint, the chestnut oaks up there are dying. And as on most of our ridges, I mean, we had a couple of different things happen in this region that impacted chestnut oaks.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have seen it in a lot of places. And they're just some pretty large trees because they bought their place in the woods because they love the woods, and now the woods is ready to move on and regenerate. Now they've got houses and stuff in there, so.
Mr. President, may I ask, would we, like with Public Works or our solicitor, like, would they look at this ahead of time, or, this is something new to me in terms of first time to give approval for this, basically like a waiver for several weeks to do this. I mean, did we have any kind of review done to get any kind of expert opinion on whether or not this should be a serious issue for us to weigh besides, you know, the already effects on residents down on Front Street, you know, in terms of the condition of the road being able to handle, because I know most of this relates to what they'll do if the road gets busted up, but hopefully that doesn't happen. I just didn't know if we looked at this at all to see what, you know, what prospects there were that that's a serious concern or not.
Well, that's what HRG did for us, working with the applicant, you know, determining.
Right, so correct. The applicant originally reached out to Nate when he was here. I believe he also reached out, you reached out to the police department as well?
Honestly, I had a difficult time getting any responses, so I actually got a response from Lieutenant Brady, sir.
Yeah.
And he helped me get the ball rolling with the township.
Right. We were requested to assist in bonding the road, so we went through it's a PennDOT standard method of bonding roadways, so we worked through that process with Mr. Henry.
That's what I mean, this is basically your proposal to address,
It's not my
or
proposal.
no, it's not your, okay.
I'm just presenting the
You're
application.
just presenting, okay, so you haven't reviewed it either in terms of any kind of deed. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out whether we had any review of this besides.
It's a standard PennDOT contract.
Mr. Greeley.
Yes.
Commissioner Hisro, the landowner is allowed to use the road and he can remove trees from his property and take them down the road. When you take them down the road at this level and this quantity, it has an effect on the road, and so the engineer, HRG, Alex have worked with the standard PennDOT way of assessing potential damage, and they've required insurance, they've required financial security, they've required a maintenance plan, and I will review that further. But in terms of the use itself, it's anybody can log their property and take logs off of their property. It's just a question of how many at one time and the effect on the road, and that is what we are deciding here. The use itself is permissible. The question is, will the traffic, I think when we're talking about traffic, we're talking about one truck, and will the truck and the quantity affect the roadway and the surrounding community? That's what we're talking about here.
And I will offer that R&J, they do this around residential areas and things. They're sensitized to timing. They're not going to be up there like 4 or 5 in the morning. And we already discussed, I believe you might even have been on that conversation when we were up on the top about the timing of trucking and things like that to try to be off-peak, things like that, because of the narrowness of the road, not wanting to run into a lot of school buses and things like that, not wanting to meet them. So as best they can, they intend to adjust their trucking to get around all those various things.
So, Alex, did you then make an assessment of the condition of the road as part of your review of this?
No, we did the assessment back in 2022. What's required through this process is if the board chooses to approve and execute this agreement, we go out and do a detailed survey with the applicant and the township of the existing roadway conditions, document, video, and
document the previous, the
existing
before they start.
Correct.
Right.
And then there's a requirement to do interim inspections. Now, whether this lasts 2 weeks, we probably do maybe 1 interim inspections. It's usually probably on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and then if we find any repairs are necessary, they would be required to make those repairs, and then a final inspection would be performed by the same 3 parties.
And you tell us to put it back in condition.
The condition, it's not to improve, it's to put it back into the condition that it was. So equal or better, but not required to, improve the roadway.
And the safeguards that are built in here, the half a dozen bullets or so, are, from your perspective, sufficient to address if there are damages to the road, that it will cover the kinds of damage that could occur? I mean, again, hopefully there's no damage at all, but if there is, these are the kinds of safeguards that should be sufficient to take care of it.
Correct. So the initial $12,500 is just that, it's an initial bond. And again, the township can draw additional if they feel the maintenance or repair is greater than 75% of that $12,500 bond. So the ultimate onus is on the applicant to make those repairs at their cost. They've chosen to use Hackman paving as, you know, the source of those repairs.
So if this is approved, you're gonna go out and assess the road, right? If, will you be able to find whether the road can actually handle the projected load?
That would be pretty difficult. That would actually take material testing, boring of the road. You know, if we were to lift the weight restriction, or propose or consider lifting the weight restriction altogether, then yes, we would have to go out and do that. For this level of use, it would just be, the requirement for the agreement is just to repair it to original or better condition.
So in the unlikely event that repairs are necessary, is there a timeline where those repairs would have to be made so that it doesn't draw out, so no repairs are done for 2 years, for example? Is there something in
No, you can make it a condition.
So there's going to be initial inspections and interim inspections and final inspections, and who pays the engineering fees for those inspections?
The applicant is required to.
So there's already been a motion and a second on this. So you're saying add a condition?
If there's a time frame, if you want to say within 3 months or 30 days, yeah, sure.
I was thinking 2 months, but in between that.
I mean, do you have a reasonable?
I mean, I would think, you know, not knowing contractors' schedules and things like that, and I'm sure weather plays a role in paving repairs and things. You might have better than I do, to be honest with you. But, I mean, I think, you know, I personally would think 2-3 months is more than adequate for somebody to figure out how to get in there and do this stuff. And I would, in my thinking, just my opinion, I'm not an engineer, but, you know, I would think you would put, unless it's an emergency repair because it's impacting traffic or something, I would think you'd want to do the repairs after the logging, so you don't have recurring problems. So if I was in your shoes, I would do something like 2 or 3 months at the end of the operation with a little bit of flexibility if the weather totally messes you up. I mean, his intent is to get in, he's actually hopeful to get in there the next week or two if we can get the inspection stuff coordinated, and then, you know, do the job, get out, move on. He's a very reputable company. I've never had any problems with any of their work in the woods and otherwise. He's pretty responsive for everything he does.
The board might note that the last condition you were asked to approve is any other conditions required after solicitor review, which was put in there in case an issue like this came up.
So you would take our concerns in terms of, you know, if we just rely on you adding something, then that'd be fine. Okay. Just one other concern or comment. If there were issues that developed right away, like, you know, the road just, because, you know, we haven't done like a detailed study or whatnot, and we, you know, we're in the first just few days and already there's damage to the road. I mean, does the project get stopped? Because if we do it for 2-3 weeks, I mean, it may really, I mean, is there some kind of safeguard built in here?
The township can revoke the permit, yes.
Okay.
I have a question regarding our solicitor's comments about the rights to harvest trees and use roads and so forth. And that raises the question in my mind of, if we vote against this, is that just simply going to mean they're going to harvest the trees and run on the road without any bonding? Is that the alternative?
It is, first off, the logging is going on, I think, in Middle Paxton Township to begin with. So it's going on in another jurisdiction altogether. So you're really not being asked to approve the logging because you can't, because it's not in your jurisdiction.
So what are we voting on?
You're voting on the protection of the road that runs through your township.
So we're not voting on whether they can harvest the logs and drive on our road. We're debating whether we're going to have protection against damage. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Because the road is weight restricted, it gives the township an opportunity to bond it. If the road was not weight restricted, and anyone can travel the road, it's open to the public. So this is really in regard to the road being weight restricted, their desire to travel excessive weight, and the township's ability to bond that.
But we can say how much surety we're going to require, because I have to tell you, a mile of paving is going to cost a hell of a lot more than $12,500 if they have to do it. And I've been on that road, and the idea of heavy logging trucks running that road just scares the hell out of me.
Yeah,
If I lived there, I would not want this.
And some of the to your point, some of the homes are really close to the road. So, there's not much leeway.
The 12,500 is just per PennDOT Pub 221, which is the road bonding guidance provided by PennDOT.
So what happens if we have $200,000 worth of damage to this road?
He's still responsible for that amount, isn't he?
They give us 12,000 and we have to pay the rest of it.
No, he's still responsible.
This agreement makes him responsible
Yeah, that's
for his
the
damage.
security, right?
That's
I mean,
the upfront.
That's just the amount he gives you up front, but he's still responsible for any damages you incur on that road. Basically, this agreement is him offering to take responsibility for it.
And that's the security payment up
So
front.
what's the value of the bond?
I'm sorry?
What's the value of the bond?
Well, I mean, I have a certified check from him for you guys, I assume it goes into escrow or something, for $12,500 at this point.
But the motion said that there'd be, to include bonding for the road.
That the security, not necessarily in bond form, so any acceptable form of security. So whether it's usually bond, a revocable letter of credit, check. So, however.
So $12,500 was the amount that Alex had said that this was going to require to be able to put the agreement in place if you guys are agreeable.
Perhaps what would have been more precise is that full execution of the excess maintenance agreement, which includes the financial security in the amount of $12,500 plus the acceptance of responsibility for any other damages, which is, I think, what Alex is trying to explain. So not only he gives you a down payment of $12,500 and he signs an agreement saying if I destroy the road, I owe you the rest, as Commissioner Rothrock indicated, the balance between the $200,000, using that as an example, and the $12,500 that you already have bond for.
Can I ask who made the motion? They would be okay with adjusting the motion to incorporate Mr. Miller's comments in terms of how this is going to work?
I think it's already covered in the last bullet point. Yeah.
Well, but I prefer to, at least on this particular aspect of it, I mean, we're talking about conditions. What this is, this has nothing to do with conditions. This is what's being agreed to, provided by the applicant if there's damage to the road. I would feel better having that in the motion up front rather than leaving it vague on that particular aspect.
Thoughts?
Yeah, and I think that's the intent of the motion and the excess maintenance agreement, but if it makes Commissioner Histro feel more comfortable, that's what you're approving anyways. So the maker of the motion could voluntarily agree to that.
I amend my
That's fine.
motion as such.
Second.
Okay, moved and second. Is that good?
Yep.
Will this be visible from, say, this building?
I don't believe so.
So it's over the crest of the mountain?
Yes. Yeah, their properties actually face north, as much as you can up on top there, I guess.
Does it get close to Boyd's Big Tree?
The last property borders Boyd's, but the whole back half of that property is not having any timbering done. That individual was really only concerned about right around their structures. I think they have, I want to say they might have 20-something acres, and I think we're only operating on like 9 or 10 acres of that right around the front part, the west part of the property.
Did I hear something about coming down through Mountaindale? Potentially?
No, that's for potential future logging operation, not associated with this one.
Okay, not down through Deer Path Woods or?
No, not, that's the other one that was presented to the township recently.
Honestly, if we had another option, we'd probably use it, to be frank. There's just no other way to get in and out of those properties. You've got other haulers up there that are going through there, and I've witnessed, so. I don't know if they communicate with you guys or not, but I often go to townships where, I digress, but in Chester County, I did a job in a township where the woman told me we were the first permit she was actually going to ever be issuing. And I said, I just passed 6 logging jobs this week coming out of this project. Well, we don't know about those. I'm like, oh, we're trying to do it the right way. Jeez. So, yeah, it varies by township, so. Anything else I can answer for you guys?
What's the weight limit on 322? Because trucks will be going down and then heading south.
I honestly don't know, but it's plenty for trucks. I mean,
Yeah, it wouldn't be unless,
like, I don't know what a standard highway weight limit would be or weight rating. I mean, they're just, semis are pounding that all the time.
yeah, I think 80,000 pounds is the max without being considered oversized.
Yeah, they can't put more than that on a truck without a special permit. And they'll be over their gross vehicle weight, which then he'll be stopping.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Be careful.
Absolutely. I visit my job very often, but he's a really good operator. Last question I had was with the Chuck.
I'll take it back.
Yeah, that'll-
I'll give you a suit tomorrow.
To take the checks.
We'll get them done.
And I'll tell them to call.
All right, next up is the intergovernmental cooperation agreement for the preparation of the intermunicipal agreement, IMA, with Capital Region Water. Please, Amber.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Included in your packet is a copy of Amendment Number 2 to the Intergovernmental Cooperation Agreement that Lower Paxton Township provided the municipal partners for preparation of an intermunicipal agreement with Capital Region Water. The statement states the parties agree that a rate consultant and special counsel is necessary in order to properly negotiate and prepare the new IMA with the Capital Region Water. The parties desire that Lower Paxton Township continue to engage a rate consultant at previously approved costs not to exceed $83,700, and that Lower Paxton Township engaged special counsel at a cost not to exceed $40,000 and bill each of the parties in proportional share. This was approved by Susquehanna Township Authority at the 12/3/24 meeting. This agreement is only the surrounding suburban partners so that there would be a cost share not to exceed $40,000 for special counsel, and the authority would be responsible for the portion of that number, which is 27%. So what that means is that there has been ongoing questions and concerns about the rate level of CRW. And it was proposed that we have a rate council come out and take a look at that rate. And this agreement allows us to participate in that, having the special counsel come out and negotiate that. So it's already been approved by the authority. There is a space on the agreement for the township to sign as well.
All right, is there a motion?
So,
Second. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, what does a rate consultant do exactly?
Examines the rates that the water company is currently levying to all the partners to determine whether it's a competitive rate or the right rate. Are they including the right expenses? Are they including too many expenses? So they really look at the rate structure to determine whether the rate that we're getting charged is appropriate.
And the authority's share of these expenses is 27%.
Yes.
Sounds like a pretty easy job for 83 grand to me. I probably don't know all the detail.
No,
But I certainly don't know all the details.
It's been going on for years and it's messy.
Yeah, I think the good part of this is that we've been asking for CRW to provide us with the information about how they come up with their rates and how they fare. And as President Lynch mentioned, it's been going on for years and years. And finally, that door is open, which is a really good thing for the township to finally be able to peek inside and determine whether the rates are fair. So.
Oh, we want fair rates to be fair.
Mr. Rothrock, obviously, as the motion states, the idea is that the rate consultant will provide the analysis and it will go to negotiate a new intermunicipal agreement. So it is, pardon the expression, the bullet that it's the ammo you can use to negotiate those rates to a different. So you need bricks to build the wall, and those are the bricks.
That's a lot of metaphors.
I got one.
That's fine. For me.
Better said than me.
Metaphor City.
Any other comments or questions? Good questions, Gary, but really, it's been going on for years. It goes back to the former mayor in the hat box, Abe Lincoln's hat box. Paid for by township sewer dollars in part, 27% work. So, anyway, it's long overdue and hope we'll get it back on track. All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner comments? Hearing none.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Commissioner Israel.
He's on the ball.
All right, comments, questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and we're out of here.